Greetings and welcome to a Wednesday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is July 31st. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing great. I gotta say, I don't think I can do the intro. I don't know. I got the yips on the intro, so I'm so happy you're back. We had some great co-hosts while you were gone, but God, it's nice not having to do the intro.
I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy. These are professionals at work here, saying 10 words to get a podcast off the ground here. It's not easy. It's not easy. You got the yips doing it? What do you mean?
I think the problem is I'm so used to doing the fried egg intro that it blends, the two of them blend together, and I lose track of what I'm trying to say. Hey, I've been dying to ask you a question.
Oh, God. I can imagine. You just have questions for me so much on this podcast.
What
do you got?
Dying to ask this question.
All right.
Like, literally all I've been thinking about for like 10 days.
God, get out of here. Yeah.
You go to the pool a lot.
More than I ever thought I would. But yeah, a lot's probably too. Yeah, go ahead.
I go to the pool a lot.
Yeah.
I've been observing. I've been going to a few pools, and I got to ask this question. This is an important question. What is the point of Adult Swim?
I think, I've done both pools where they have them at both, right?
What's the point? Like, everybody there's there with their kids.
You got to give the lifeguards a break. And then there's the occasional weirdo who's not there with their kids, just trying to get some peace and quiet and do some laps. Like a guy who goes to Disney World, but as adults and does the around the world stuff and is not there, trying to get their autographs as a 45-year-old man from the Chipmunks and all this stuff. I don't know. I think they need to. I think the Adult Swim's become too pervasive. They do it every 45 minutes at mine.
It's insane. I was at this pool. And they do it, and it's like there's nobody in the pool for 15 minutes. So what are we doing?
Right. I think it's to give the lifeguards a breather.
I got a 4-year-old just like trying to go in the pool, doesn't understand the concept. Like, why can't I go in the pool now?
And you need some alternative.
I don't need to deal with this. I don't need to deal with it. Then I have to go back in the kid pool. I got to go back in the kiddie pool that's full of pee.
The urine pool. That's what that is. Yeah. They got rid of it at ours. They finally just got rid of the whole thing because they're like, why just have a thing that's 75% pee?
Just drives me insane.
Yeah.
I can't stand Adult Swim. I think it needs to be eradicated from the entire culture of pools.
They're trying to give the lifeguards a breather, which they should be. They need. The problem is, I don't see my wife get mad that often. They go 10:45 to 11 is Adult Swim, but they always blow the whistle at like 10:43 and then reignite the full pool at like 11:02. They're always like looking for a couple. And then my wife gets pissed at the lifeguards. Like, just blow the whistle on time. They always try to bite off a few extra minutes on the front and back end of Adult Swim, which is really upsets my wife. It is a little too pervasive. That's good. The pool, though, I'll say that. Coming off a week at the beach, is better than the beach. Because I have a question for you.
All right.
Who decided and when that, like, the beach is a form of relaxation and vacationing? Like, who got on their horse or their buggy or their car?
PJ's clapping.
And just started driving. Well, I proposed this to my father-in-law, who was at the beach with me, who's from Long Island. It didn't go well because he's like, I'm from Long Island. I went to the beach every day of my life in the summer. I was like, it didn't go well.
No.
I just like, why did they get on their horse? When did this happen? I know it's been marketed to us for 40 years by Corona and everybody else that this is the height of relaxation. But who decided that we're just going to drive or ride until the land ends, sit in the sand, get sunburned to hell, and then like occasionally go in the water? Like my kids.
You're not wearing your Orson Alps, huh? That's not a good ad for the Orson Alps.
All right, fine, whatever. You're getting
wouldn't get sunburn if you were wearing your Orson Alps.
I had, but why is this Why is this considered relax? Who decided this was the recreational activity to do to relax?
I
You go in
gotta
the water.
disagree. I'm gonna push back here.
My kids are complaining to me about how they're getting nibbled and bit and stuff when they go, well, yeah, we don't belong in the water. That's not our habitat. You're going to their corner. We are not meant to be in there. But this is what we've decided. I don't know. I just would like to know when and who decided this is how we do things. We go to the beach for vacation.
I gotta say, you grew up with the worst Great Lake, so I understand.
It was a great Lake.
I understand why you might not like the beach, but for those of us that aren't coastal elites, that are true Midwesterners that grew up with wonderful lakes to go to. I mean, there's nothing better than going in the freshwater lake. I was recently on Lake Michigan, on the western side of Lake Michigan, which is divine. I'm going up to Traverse City this week. I built in a little time in my schedule to go to the beach. I'm going to go to the beach for an hour. I'm going to get in the water. I find it refreshing. I find it incredible. I love the sand. I love putting my feet in the sand. I like digging them in. Yeah. I mean, it's the best form. Like, when you like the concrete, you'd rather have your feet on the concrete,
I didn't say that.
hot pool deck over your feet in the sand. What kind of?
No, you go in the pool where there's not crabs biting the kids and they're complaining about it or whatever.
Your problem. This is your problem. What? I think oceans kind of stink. Like, oceans stink. Lakes are awesome.
I'm with you on that. I'll join you in that one. You're
talking about the wrong beaches. You should be going to Michigan's beaches. You should be you should be going vacationing in pure Michigan. That's where you should be vacationing. Shouldn't be going to the ocean. The ocean. When I go to the beach in my neck of the woods in California, I don't go in the water. There's sharks everywhere. Like, I don't want to get eaten by a shark.
Kids. Let's say, hey, you're going into their lane now. You enter the water. That's their corner. Anyway, it wasn't even a complaint. It was more just sitting there. I was like, who decided and when that this was the thing that pretty much all of humanity was going to do? Every continent, this is what they do. And it's just like, why did they decide this? It's peculiar, but now it's been marketed to us by every brand that it's the height of relaxation. It's just not.
Have you seen this? That sharks are really getting aggressive in Florida because the water's warmer and they're having to burn more calories, so they're eating more.
Yeah, they're out there, man. That's their habitat. It's not ours. I don't know why they decided this is where we should be, but it's not ours.
I got to,
which is a separate question. Swimming is out of control in the Olympics. We're not meant anyway. We'll see. Leave that for another day. Go ahead.
How about the real Prince of Pontevedra? Did you see that tweet yesterday?
Yeah.
From I can't remember who tweeted it.
He got a bronze. He got a bronze in the
Tim Murphy?
backstroke.
Is it Tim Murphy?
He's not a prince of anything. A prince is where win gold.
He's won a medal in 3 straight Olympics.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
In the backstroke, like that's incredible longevity. Good. Like you could just slamming the guy, not knowing the whole context. I mean, what kind of? You didn't do your podcast prep for this show that never has a factual error.
Do we give guys majors for winning the 18-hole lead, the 54-hole lead? They're just giving them for 100 meters, 200 meters, 18 different strokes. There's just a lot of events, a lot of medals.
Just wait till we get the long drive medal at the Olympics.
Yeah. He won par 4 scoring. All this stuff. Like, what are we doing? So many medals. Go ahead.
Did you see PJ's doppelganger last night on the pommel horse?
Oh, yeah. That was cool. That guy. That was cool.
He was just like meditating. It looked until he the only thing he did the entire competition's the pommel horse.
Think about the pressure you've brought to Paris with one job. You cannot mess this up.
Does he have like a regular job? I think he's like 25.
He was older. I would assume not. Seems like he's got to be working on his pommel.
Professional pommel horse.
Well, I don't think he's professional, but I think he's training.
What do you do for a living? I just do the pommel horse. I
go to carnivals and do pommel horse tricks, and I'm a professional pommel horser. I don't know. You were jamming the Olympics. I was listening to you. You're confused about why we care about throwing weighted discuses and things like that. You were.
I had a busy weekend at home. I'm not home very often. I'm like locked in at home when I'm home. I just hadn't gotten in the Olympic spirit. I'm in the Olympic spirit now. I watched the Olympics for a couple hours last night.
Good.
I'm back. I'm back in. Yeah, I love the Olympics. I'm back in. Bradley caught me. He got me on my back foot. He got me on my back foot.
You were dour. He was like
talking to an
NBC employee about how the Olympics are just weird and all this stuff. It's good.
You know the thing about recording this 3 days a week is you're in different moods on different days. Like, you fly all day Sunday. I talked to my wife and kid. They're like, tell me all the things they did. And they're like, how was your day? I was like, well, I sat on a plane all day and I got to the hotel. That was my day. My day was literally, you just sit on a plane and just fly all day, get a rental car, get to a hotel. And that's what my day was, Not to complain.
Our mood right now,
smallest violin.
Our mood right now seems to be not to talk about golf, which is fine. Sometimes that happens.
Hey,
it's been a while since I've seen you. What?
I wanted to give you a little Caleb Williams update that I saw. I don't think I doubt that you're up to date, but this was fresh off the press this morning.
Throwing a good ball. It looks fabulous.
No, leader in the locker room.
Oh my God. This is just like rinse and repeat. Like, the team, this is the most July 31st report ever. He's a great leader in the locker room.
You want to hear what he did?
He bought watches for the linemen. What did he do?
He looked around the locker room. He addressed the team. Said, listen, guys, we're making the locker room staff pick up too many clothes. We're all grown men. We got to pick up. We got to pick up after ourselves.
Yeah, I like.
How about that? Leader, right there.
All right, that's
be a Super Bowl QB.
I think that's good for 10 wins. Telling the locker room staff to not pick up so much. That's good. I was
talking to somebody
it's
yesterday.
The most July 31st NFL update I've ever heard. Go ahead.
I was talking to, I think he was a fan of the Lions. He was just like talking about how they need to get rid of Goff or something. And I'm like, he's like,
Jared Goff.
we need to get, no, it was Dak. It was a Cowboy fan. And he was like, we got to get rid of Dak. Dak stinks. We should have gotten rid of him years ago. And I go, hey man, like, he's not that bad. There's like, the thing is like, quarterback, like you could have bad quarterbacks and life with a bad quarterback's like not good. He's like, no, we could just find somebody that's better. I'm like, I don't know if but not every team just has good quarterbacks. Like my whole life we've had bad quarterbacks. He's like, well, you got a good one now. And I'm like, well, we've been here before.
What do you know? Yeah, what?
Yeah,
you don't know that.
It was fascinating having this conversation with a Cowboys fan. You're a Browns fan. You're in this. Like, do you not even understand that? Like, having a good quarterback's not a given. And
what does he want? Does he want Quincy Carter back? Like, it's not like the Cowboys have had good quarterbacks since Troy Aikman.
They haven't done anything. Romo and Dak. Like they haven't
won a thing.
Yeah, but those are above average quarterbacks. They've never had. They haven't gone through stints of just terribleness.
Okay. Yeah, that's a little diluted. That's a little entitled behavior. I mean, you never know how bad it could be.
Keep him aside and we're going to get someone better than Dak? Like, that's not a given.
I take Dak's stats a lot. I know. That's part of the problem.
Would you trade Deshaun for Dak?
Yes.
PJ, would you trade Aaron Rodgers for Dak?
I'd think about it just because he's 7 years younger. I'd greatly consider it.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Like how could you not?
Would you guys trade Caleb Williams for Dak?
No. Stop.
No.
I like where we're sitting.
Might be a different tune in October. We'll see.
I was going to say no, but I'm glad you guys said no.
No. Yeah, you don't do that. So, all right, we should get to golf, I guess, at some point. We can talk more about the pool or the beach, or whatever. It's Olympics
Vacation was
week.
good outside of the beach. Outside of the beach.
Outside of the primary reason we were there.
Outside of going to the beach, you had a great time. It sounds like.
I enjoyed the beach. There was not a complaint, for God's sakes. I was just curious, looking around. It's like, who decided this is what we all should do?
Can't believe you hate the beach.
I was curious about the origin story of why that became the thing we all do.
How do you not like putting your feet in the sand?
I don't dislike it. I just don't get the grand appeal of it. I'd rather it's cooler, I guess, at the coast, and maybe that's why everyone just decided to flee. I don't know.
Did you have an umbrella?
Yeah, multiple umbrellas. People go to war for those umbrellas. Elbowing, trying to get your arm under the umbrella. Yeah, it's interesting scene on the beach.
You know what happened the last time I was at the beach?
What?
Not last time. When I was on my vacation, we had this spot, and we were like, I don't know, 20 feet from the water. Set up. Got a big group. It was like 8 or 9 of us. These people that were sitting to the right of us decided they wanted to move up. They moved and put their chairs directly in front of us.
Oh yeah. That's an ongoing issue.
That's not acceptable behavior.
Not how it goes. No.
You'd
think in the Midwest they wouldn't do that.
And then one of the guys was like standing facing his group, having like a loud conversation. He was very geriatric with his movements.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, I don't want to look at. I didn't come here to look at you. Doing your song and dance.
Yeah.
In front, like this isn't. I almost said something to him. I was like, you're just sitting there. You're relaxing, trying to relax, and you're just looking at this
You're not
guy.
Relaxing. There's nothing relaxing about the beach, besides what Corona will tell you, or whoever else.
There's so much relaxing about the beach. It's because you have too many kids. That's your problem. Like, that's not my problem.
Sandy.
It's not the problem with the beach that you have 4 kids that you.
Kids are great. They're older, more self-sufficient. They're old enough to just run in there and maybe get drowned, without any inhibition. So it's a terrifying experience all the way around. Not a terrifying experience as we get to minute 17 is going to be Dratty. Do an ad read without talking about golf.
We're going to get to golf right after this ad read.
I know I'm very concerned, Andy. I'm very concerned. We'll do golf in the ad read about Jay Lindenberg outfitting the American boys.
This is a negative ad read.
I'm very concerned. I'm negative recruiting right now. Very concerned about the unis this week. We've seen what they've done to poor little Victor Hovland and the many of the week to week at the majors and everything else.
Do you think the red's off? The red doesn't look like an American red.
Well, what's American red? Fire engine red? What are we talking about here?
I don't know.
Okay, it looks off to you though. All right, yeah. Aren't you colorblind?
Yes.
So why are you the one? All right, well, the red's off according to Andy, but otherwise I have concerns about how garish and ridiculous these uniforms. It's a pretty red, white, and blue. It's a staple motif. It feels like you can't get too carried away, but I'm worried about Jay Lindenberg. What I'm not worried about is our President's Cup uniforms in 2 months time, because they will be locked and loaded with B. Dratty on both sides, all sides. B. Dratty. They have the international team. They stepped their game up. Those players know what they want in comfort, whether it's Pima cotton late September in Montreal or sport. Maybe it gets sweaty late in Montreal. You never know. Could be unusually hot.
What are you going to wear in Montreal?
We're going up there. I'm hoping it's a little Pima season, Pima cotton season. Liam Polo. I think that maybe even throw on a Russ quarter zip. I know you like the crew neck and all that.
You think PJ's going to come to Montreal? Do you have your passport, PJ?
I do have a passport.
Okay, you're old enough. You're old enough.
I do.
Yeah,
Huh,
Andy
I'm
has
set.
his.
I am
I'm
old
set.
enough
Well, you
for
are
a
now.
passport.
You are
I'm
now
set.
after the
I'm set
Ireland.
for like 6 years or whatever
yeah.
the passport is.
Yeah, so we were talking about bringing PJ to Montreal yesterday. I was PJ, you might be coming to Montreal, whether you know it or not. And late, but anyways, B Dratty will be there.
I don't know where my passport is. One of the great things about my wife is like if I always like I'll put my passport on my like bedside table. That's like where I'll put it after a trip, and then it disappears, and she puts it in the important things folder that she has.
Shoebox
She
or the
manages.
safe.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the way to do it. But B Dratty will be in Montreal. You don't need to wait. You can go to bdratty.com, use the promo code SGS30. You get 30% off everything, anything. Just load it up, load the cart up, throw the 30% off at the end. It's a gratifying experience. Just hit that button and watch the money tumble off. They've got premium products all the way around, whether you're planning for fall, or in the middle of summer. You love their shorts. You're into the Big Daddy Cool short. You're on a Big Daddy Cool
I'm
short
a Big Daddy
right now,
Cool kick.
I would say. Yeah,
they're great.
They're good shorts.
I'm wearing them right now.
You are wearing them right now.
I got a B Dratty sport on. It's a little bit sweaty boy season in Detroit.
Michigan.
Some humidity here. But I've been conquering it with the B Dratty sport.
So go to bdratty.com, use the promo code SGS30, get 30% off. They've been sponsors of ours since the very beginning, a partnership that we cherish and love and have allowed this podcast to get to where we are. All right, it's Olympics week for the men. I've got my Roy Sabatini, if you're watching on YouTube, signed Olympic silver medal podium picture from our good friend, legend Chris Foley. Got that to me. Memento. He's gone, but not forgotten, is Sabatini. What are you most looking forward to? I mean, that would have been story 1A, B, and C again. But what are you most looking forward to the Olympics?
I'm most looking
Men's.
forward to the 9/11 Thursday tea time. Do you know who that is?
No.
How about this pairing? Piss Bear, Toasty,
Oh
and
my
Joaquin
God.
Neiman.
No. They've got Piss Bear and Toasty together?
Yes.
Oh, I had the tea times up this morning. I forgot to dig in.
I dug in. Don't worry. I dug in. But that's the
9:11 a.m. local time in Paris.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, so I may be getting up at 4 a.m. to watch that if they have it on TV somewhere.
Probably won't be on TV. The TV tends to disappoint you in that way. It's
Isn't
never
everything on
when
TV? Isn't every Olympic event available somewhere, whether it's Peacock or something? I thought that was the whole value of it. But okay,
the cock.
You like
gotta
that?
Get over to the cock, huh?
Peacock's good, man. I've always been a Peacock appreciator since day one.
I believe it's golf. I believe it's on Golf Channel. I believe it's on television for everything.
Oh, it's not on USA.
That would make sense. It's a golf channel. They put the golf on the Golf Channel, owned by but they barely do that anymore. It seems like. Okay, all right, great. Tea times are out.
That's what I'm most looking forward to. Is I think Toasty could put up numbers in the 80s. His aggression and this golf course, I think, are a disastrous match. And I think that's the thing I'm most excited to watch. This is the most irrationally aggressive player in the world taking on the golf course that we watched in the Ryder Cup. Just absolutely punish aggressive play.
Phil Mickelson, unplayable, completely unplayable. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. The Bob Van Hagge or Hagge layout, La Golf Nationale, water and play on 10 holes. Just in the middle of Paris. Why wouldn't there be water and play on every hole? It's a punishing test, which brings into play, Andy, the spread. I'm really excited about the spread. No cut. I mean, you got a little bit of detritus floating on the end of this field because they got to get all these nationalities in.
Like Joel Gerback.
Yeah, who's that?
Joel
Elvis Gerback's son from Switzerland.
Elvis Gerback.
Great VASJ quarterback. Playing with Fabrizio Zanotti and Tapio Pulkkinen.
Who else did Elvis Gerback play for? The Chiefs? Who else?
The Chiefs was a primary one.
The Broncos, maybe? I feel like the Broncos and the Chiefs just, their quarterbacks blend together for me.
Yeah, he bounced around.
He was a Raven for sure.
Oh, that's a shame. Anyways, Joel Gerbach.
Does it mean he was
he's
a
out
Brown?
there. What?
Does that mean he was a Brown?
No. He probably hated every second of that. He's a Cleveland native. It's probably hard for him to put on that Ravens uniform. Joel Gerbach, Talpio Polkinen, and Fabrizio Zanotti. I mean, there's no cut. There's water on every hole. Who knows where this could go, Andy? Like, it's a unique we could have just some all-time implosions. But you're at the Olympics. It's an interesting. I'm excited about it. I know you talked with Brentley. You talked on the Fried Egg podcast. Like, what does it mean? Like, what will the Olympics mean? I think Rory talked about it today as like it gains time. Will this start to mean more? He still doesn't know what I mean. The one thing I wonder about is like, and this is for all Olympics. It's like, when did we decide that third place is the cutoff? Like, is it worse to be silver by a second like a half a second in the pool, or fourth by a half a second in the pool, or on the golf course? It's an interesting prize.
It's wild watching some of those swimming races. It comes down to like tenths of seconds.
Yeah.
And it's like, I felt so bad. Like, I felt so bad for some people that like finished fourth. It's like, oh, that's just pointless. That being said, in golf, I think that the neat thing with golf is that it's fun. The last two Olympics, it's been fun having like that third place tension, like where there's. It's not the points.
Playoff,
I mean, I guess we get the third place tension every week with the FedEx Cup points. Is this guy gonna get 200 or 150?
We're always crunching those numbers like every day, every Sunday afternoon. Who's going to get those extra 15 points?
I think I'm very bullish on the Olympics. I think in 20, 25 years, we'll look back and I think it'll be a big deal because I like the scarcity. Like, I think the biggest thing for me, sports that have like, that have really, that are very scarce have tended to succeed. And you've got like the Olympics platform, like you're starting from a really high bar. And the fact that it's this golf tournament that's only every 4 years, I think it's got like a real potential to have that. Like, so I'm bullish on it, but I also think I think as a society, we struggle with like everything needs to have this defined status right away. It's okay for this to like figure out what it is.
Yeah, I agree. Well, there's too much content. There's too many tweets and podcasts telling people you need to fix this, you need to change this, you need to alter that. So that's why we don't let anything be. But I think it can be cool. I'm into it this week. I was into it in Tokyo for probably less genuine reasons, dealing with Rory Sabatini. But I think a concern I'd have is like, is there a body that really takes ownership of this, right? You look at this week and like Thomas Pagel is the rules official and the PGA Tour guy is doing that. Like, is this their primary interest or job? Like, I love that they are volunteering. They're everybody's coming together to chip in and hold this golf tournament. But like, if somebody was really taking ownership, and there's an IGF, I know.
I'll tell you who's taking ownership, making it a different experience for me.
What?
Tad Dickman.
Great, helpful information. Running comms. He's from the tour. Like, this is what I'm talking about. There's just like,
well, I don't know. Ever get emails from Tad Dickman?
And you get a lot this week about the Olympics.
Yeah.
So it's just all the governing bodies are chipping in. Does someone feel super invested in this? I don't know. It's at Le Golf National. Is somebody thinking about this from 4 years out? There's this guy who's the IGF president who's talking about mixed event. Maybe we make a match play event. We've been talking about this since the beginning. Xander doesn't seem too keen to that. Xander thinks, if we got to play with the women, that's going to mean too many events. So guys, you're going to lose some guys. He also says match play is weird. That would be weird. Well, so that's good. This is a real romantic, that's Robot Xander. He likes it one way, 72 holes, and that's what he wants. He doesn't want, it seemed reticent to hail the ideas of a mixed play event, a mixed team event, or any match play.
Do you think Xander, when he goes to the restaurant, that he likes just orders the same thing every time?
Could be. Yes, it's a fair question. Guys had a great year though.
I think being a creature of habit's probably like very advantageous in professional golf. Like just being okay, doing the same thing every day.
Yeah.
I think being a creature of habit, if you're trying to make an event stand out and unique and the best thing it can be, is very bad. So I'm happy that Xander is not a tournament organizer and just is a very good professional golfer.
Yep. Who do you like this week from the U.S.? They have Xander, Wyndham, Morikawa, and Scotty. Wyndham, I would say, is probably not the top of a lot of people's tickets.
Who I don't like for this golf course is Wyndham Clark.
We need to have a Wyndham Clark discourse at some point. We need to have a discussion about Wyndham Clark, but we'll do that in September or something like that.
I think that it's such a good setup for Scotty's and Xander. Everywhere, every golf course in the world is a good setup when you are good at everything. So those two are a great setup. And I think it's an awesome setup for Collin Morikawa. Like, really good setup for. So I think from the American side, like, they got 3 great candidates for gold medals. I mean, I don't think they'll sweep the board, but it's conceivable they could sweep the board. There are a lot of other great players in the field, but when you look at it, I think like they've got 3 of the top 5 favorites in the event. So I think it would be disappointing if there isn't an American on the podium.
Yeah, they're primed and set up well. They obviously have the most players in the field. The qualification's tricky. The 9th ranked player in the world is not in the event.
It's really tricky. Juice Luton's not here, even though he qualified.
Yeah, Juice Luton, not that. That's the Netherlands problem. That's the Dutch,
Netherlands and IGF. Then IGF said, "Sorry, seats taken."
Well, yeah, that's the Cutthroat Corner in Amsterdam is a little more intense, I guess, than even here at this podcast.
You were going to put Johnny Vegas in Cutthroat Corner?
I would have thought about it. I mean, I didn't watch any golf, and I pull up the leaderboard on Sunday. I was like, Johnny Vegas.
He was playing pretty well coming into this week.
Okay,
that would have been a tough
PJ.
Cutthroat Corner.
All right, well, thank you.
That's what PJ's here for. He's here to add some measured takes in here.
All right. I think that 3M Field probably had several options for Cutthroat Corner. It sounded like a great story. Do you have a pick for the Olympics as we bounce around? Oh, by the way, Rory kind of popped the people are saying Bryson should be in it. Bryson should be in it. They're like, well, they don't this is how we do it. We have to do it by OWGR. The golf they play is so different from the golf we play. I guess Live. That you knew what you were doing when you went and did Live. You removed yourself from certain possibilities, and I don't know. Bryson, the 9th ranked player in the field, is also out. So you only get 4 Americans, but you got Elvis Gerbach's kid. So that's the way the field is constructed, and that's the way it goes.
I mean,
who you pick?
Bryson's got YouTube videos to make, so it's probably nice.
He does. He's got to train for the Creator Classic. Making his YouTube videos. He's going to be in Atlanta.
He's got to back up a video, the very popular video that he just released. Like, how's he going to back that up?
Oh, with the former president?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you back that up? Pick? What do you go with next?
It's a fair question.
Maybe Creator Classics, calling his name.
Could he have the other candidate, Kamala, on? Could you do break 50 or something with her? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to.
He should have Joe on next. That would be the play.
I think he said he invited Joe and didn't get a response. I think. Somebody asked Bryce if he'd run for president.
Yeah, I hope Joe can enjoy retirement. I feel like that guy deserves to retire.
Let the boy be. Let the man, God, he's been doing this for 60 years. I hope he can, just go back to the beach, Rehoboth, where I just was, essentially. Enjoy that miserable sand and sun on the beach. Who's your pick?
Who's my pick? I guess I mean, this isn't my one and done doesn't have this. So if I'm just picking someone, I think I'd pick Xander or Morikawa. What about you?
Going out on a limb there, throwing two people.
All right, I think if I was gonna go with someone a little bit off the board, maybe I was looking at this. Maybe I go Shane Lowry.
I was gonna pick him. Seems to be playing pretty well. Hopefully, won't get jammed by the wind and rain. We know it's hot. Go ahead.
You know who's a great guy to pick for a medal, but maybe not win?
Who?
Based off this golf course, Corey Connors.
Yeah, great one.
I think that is this is prime Corey Connors course. Arguably hits it better than it hits it as well as anybody in the field. But wouldn't say gold, but silver or bronze could be there. Could have the same problems. Could have the same problems coming down the stretch of this for a bronze. So.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what's cool about this event.
Yeah, it's an interesting mix. I mean, Steven Jaeger playing for Germany, by way of Knoxville. He's got the 4A. He's high A in Germany. It's good. It's a great field. I'm going Matteo Manassero to medal. He seems like a great bronze candidate. Just not gold. He'll fill the Sabatini slot. I think. Just kind of elbow his way into the podium.
This is where 265 off the tee can pay dividends.
Yep.
What country would you most like to see get a medal surprisingly?
I mean, are Tom Kim and Ben An still on the hook for the military service? Is that still a thing with the Koreans?
I think Tom Kim's out because of the Asia Games. Didn't him and Sung Jae win the Asia Games or something this fall? Okay. I want to say they're off the hook.
Okay. Marunk would be cool, getting Poland a medal. Poland doesn't seem like a Summer Games country. Be great to get them in the Summer Games medal ceremony.
Why is Poland not a Summer Games? It
feels cold.
It gets warm there in the summer.
Fair.
It's different. It's no different than the rest of
Canada,
Europe.
I suppose. Yeah, I wouldn't say the same about Canada. Who do you like?
For a
random country.
Sam?
Yeah.
I guess of countries that have a legitimate shot, Shub Sharma would be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. From India.
Pavon or Perez doing something would be cool, right? I mean, I think the French could give a shit about golf if we're being. I mean, I know they have great golf courses.
I don't think there's going to be any French people watching golf.
I don't think they'll be there. If I was there, they're probably doing something else. But that'd be cool.
I would say
to get
that
Pavon on the podium.
Pavon.
Yeah,
it's
a good one.
Yeah.
All right, that's your Olympics preview. Hearty Olympics preview. We'll talk more about on Friday. That Toasty, I did not realize Toasty was with Piss Bear. You see, he was reading that book on the flight over, The Magic of Big Thinking. So he's getting in the right headspace. Flew over a little late.
The magic of big thinking.
Yeah, he's locked in. He's ready to rock. What else do we have? News, FedEx Cup. I don't know. There's changes. There's just, I feel like you get a press release this time every. Oh, schedule of the week. Let's just do schedule of the week. I'm off my game getting back here. The LPGA
So you're more on the game than I was as the host.
is in Portland. Who's making the LPGA schedule? They got France next week. You're going to put an event in Portland the preceding week, and you're going to expect anyone to come to that? Like the PGA Tour at least like doesn't screw around. Like they mostly like you go to the Open, you just hang out in Europe, and then you go to the Olympics. Why are they going to Portland? Try New York, something. Go ahead.
I think both of these tours should take 2 weeks off for the Olympics, or 3. I think it's once every 4 years. It's a huge deal for your sport, whether or not they can admit it. I think they should both take a lot of time off.
There's too many Olympics. FedEx Cup points to be won.
I know.
CME points.
I floated this conspiracy on Fried Egg. I don't want to step too much on the Fried Egg pod. I thought it was really good, but pod with Nicholas Colsarts, and then Garrett and I talked for a half hour about the Olympics. But I floated this conspiracy. Do you think there's a realm of possibility that the tour wants the Olympics to fail because they don't own it? Golf in the Olympics?
I mean, no. Maybe now.
If
there wasn't at the beginning. It's interesting to hear you talk about how important it is to the game and how it could be like a grow the game initiative, because this was like the very staunch messaging from NBC and Golf Channel at the beginning, and I think they kind of overdid it, and they just, like you talked about, let it ride, and it's gaining traction and more importance, and there's less guys saying I don't want to go because of Zika. And remember all that at Brazil? That was a mess. Like, it is important. I think it's cool. And it'll be cooler at Riviera too. It'll be cool again at Riviera. It'll be awesome. No, I don't buy your conspiracy, but it's a good one. I would like, listen to it.
There's a conceivable chance that the Olympics, golf in the Olympics, becomes like a really big event in the next 20 years. Like that, it's not a non-zero. I wouldn't say it's like a huge, like I think it's to be determined. But if it blew up, say golf became super popular in the Olympics, it would be conceivable that the tour would then not own any of the top 6 golf properties.
What about the players or the FedEx Cup?
That's what I'm saying, is the Olympics could leapfrog those.
They're gonna buy the Ryder Cup and the PGA of America once they sort out this deal. That's so close at the finish line, I'm sure.
Sounds like it's not close at all.
No, but we've got the usual annual Song and Dance press release, late July press release, how this FedEx Cup's gonna be bigger and better than ever.
It's because they got the Creator Classic.
They got more cameras doing this. There's more. There's, Live From will be there. It's like we've done this for 20 years. It's the most overinvested, heavily promoted property in golf. But this will be the year with the Creator Classic and other things, the other bells and whistles.
I have a question.
I have no problem with it. What?
I have a question about the Creator Classic. Are guys getting shots? Because there's a pretty wide skill gap in the Creator Classic.
Is Wes Bryant playing in the Creator Classic?
No, I think he's announcing. But Brad Dahlke almost won the US Am.
And then you got one of the dudes, the Dude Perfect guys, who I could be a good player, but presumably not US Am contender.
That's what I'm saying. You got Brad Dahlke he's technically he's a YouTube golfer, but he's like a pro golfer. I mean, he plays golf for money.
Yeah.
And he was he was like an All-American. He's really good.
Yeah.
And I'm not an avid consumer, but I've seen Fat Perez swing. I don't think Fat Perez is gonna keep up with Brad Dahlke. I think Fat Perez seems like a pretty good player, but it's not we're talking about different classes of players. Is this supposed to be a competition? Or is it to me it seems like it's a circle jerk. It's a circle jerk to up the views on the PGA Tour YouTube page, and that's all it is. Is that the creators get the juice? The
For
creators
one
get
moment.
well, it doesn't make any sense to me because
No, it doesn't.
the
It
creators
doesn't.
are like, hell yeah, we'll come do this. We'll get the juice from the tour. It's
And go
just
back to the
everybody.
Good channel.
Yes.
And watch them again where they belong. They're not going to stick around and watch Corey Connor shoot 76 on Thursday in Atlanta. They're on PGA Tour Live. They're gonna go back to being good fans, and Bob does sports fan. I don't know, whatever. It's the Creator Classic. It's the latest bell and whistle around the FedEx Cup. I'm fine with it. I have no issues.
I just am wondering what's the hook to watch it. Like I'll watch Brad Dahlke play golf. Like I would. That's something I would do.
Well, there's a young audience that loves all these guys, and they're going to watch it on the PGA Tour YouTube, and then they're going to go back and watch them on their own channel.
Do you think they're going to hammer subscribe? Hammer this? Who's going to be on saying hammer the subscribe? We're going to do this once a year at the Creator
Danny
Classic.
Raps. Danny's on the announcer. He's going to be subscribed.
That's right.
Our friend, like former Golf Digest guy. I don't know. They're going to subscribe, and they're not going to get Adam Schenk at home content, inside the tour, cut show or whatever it is. And they're going to stay, and they'll be hooked for life.
I don't understand the point of getting somebody to subscribe with a completely different genre of content than you regularly offer, unless this is like the part of the pathway in the future. Like, are they going to do this week in, week out? Is it going to be Fat Perez and whatever at coming live from TPC Sod Farm next year?
Well, there's a lot of conference rooms at the Global Home to throw ideas at the wall. This is the 20-year odyssey, as far as I know. How do we get the youths? How do we get the millennials? It once was. Now it's Gen whatever we are on.
PJ, how do they get you? How do they get you hooked?
I don't know. Can Tiger play more than 3 times a year? Tiger still
the
moves
50-year-old. Can the 50-year-old with the decrepit body play more?
I don't know. Tiger still is the needle. And then listen,
so using Brendan's favorite term.
Nobody wants to hear this, but the youths love Bryson. My friends that don't actually follow golf, the youths love Bryson.
I fully understand that. I want to hear that.
You know what PJ is?
Come up with different ideas.
PJ's a guy that watches highlights but it doesn't watch the sporting event. He just watches highlights and clips.
That's not true.
FedEx Cup will be bigger and better than ever with some new camera angles. I'm excited about it. The game will be growing. The youths will join. If it's not the Creator Classic this year, it was inviting, Big Boy the year prior and all these other, there'll just always be grow the game initiatives.
I got to
Netflix, everything. Just it's always growing. But
I got to say something that I'm earnestly and genuinely excited about for the FedEx Cup.
What?
I'm excited to see the new East Lake.
Good. Well, that's part of the appeal of the Creator Classic. They're playing the back nine.
I'm sure they're going to be breaking it down. I'm sure they got people. I'm sure they're going to get people that can tell you what's different.
I don't think that audience could give a shit about the old versus new East Lake. Just a guess, maybe not. Maybe that YouTube creator audience is super into Andrew Green and his work. Maybe but I'm just guessing not.
Maybe they are.
Yeah, maybe they are. Maybe they are. We don't know what we're talking about, so maybe they are.
It seems like we got to become YouTube golfers.
No, nobody wants that. Nobody needs
if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe.
Subscribe, bro.
Subscribe.
Thumbs up. Comment. I don't know what I'm gesticulating about, like your friend on the beach. Event of the week. Can I give it away? Go ahead.
Wait.
I know where you're going.
It's going to be the Olympics. How's it not the Olympics?
I would just say it's the Western Am at Moraine.
I like that. It's hard going up against the Olympics. I love the Western Am, the Masters of amateur golf. Moraine is awesome. Awesome place. I love that golf course.
Hey, we get coverage of this. The PGA Tour probably doesn't like this. It doesn't like this. More properties they don't own. 122nd Western Amateur will be ESPN Plus Sweet 16 match play competition Friday and Saturday on ESPN Plus. 12 hours of live streaming coverage from Moraine. Pretty good stuff. News. My unsubstantiated rumor from a few months ago, Philly Cricket getting the Wells Fargo when Quail Hollows hosting the PGA seems to be on the doorstep. That's an unsubstantiated rumor. I came back. Hey, did you guys talk about? I came back to a bevy of messages. Didn't listen to anything. Didn't read. Open it. Came back to a lot. Did you guys talk about the Senior Open at Carnoustie and that qualifier? Roderick Bastard was his name. Did you talk about him at all?
No,
I'm gonna guess.
we did not. We did not go to Bastard.
So I came back to this. I was honestly like proper tears to this message from a source on the ground. Probably, I'm not juvenile. I don't go for juvenile humor usually. But he qualified for the Senior Open at Carnoustie. Source on the ground. He's a big boy. Roddy Bastard. Big boy. Source on the ground goes to the first tee. He's last off at the Senior Open at Carnoustie. Last off.
Well, that's what you get for being a bastard.
I'm not in juvenile humor, I promise you. But this just tickled me, scratched me where I itch. Source on the ground who might be in a juvenile humor, stirring it up. Maybe a guy who's in the industry. Goes to the tee. Watch Roderick off last. Said there's 40 or 50 people there. 40 or 50 people there, all just basically waiting to see how he's announced by the first tee announcer. They said he poofed his ball off in the high heather and everybody walked away. Nobody followed him down the fairway. Just was there to see the first tee announcer. So my source watches it. I'm honestly crying, laughing, listening to this voice message yesterday. Watches him hit. What goes up to the first tee? I guess the announcer is this posh English lady. So this very prim and proper English lady was the first tee announcer at the Senior Open. And she announces him as Roderick Bastard. And so my source goes up to her the next day, sees everybody dissipates, goes up to her the next day because you bobbled that one. You got cold feet. You chickened out. And she goes, well, he came up to me and said his name is pronounced Bastard. And my source, well, of course he told you that. Over 50 years, they've been calling him a bastard. And she was put on the back foot immediately. It's like, oh, yeah. You're right. And that's Roderick Bastard first tee announcer. I love the idea of 50 people and this prim and proper English lady. They're just there waiting to hear him announce and then walk off. I feel bad. I was told he might actually be like related to some sort of English nobility from like 1300s or something, where the guy was, Sir Richard the Bastard or something like that. And that's how the name took. I don't know. Highly unsubstantiated. But that's your first tee announcer story from last week's Senior Open.
Hey,
of course he wants to call him that. Go ahead.
On the heels of the Bastard story.
Yeah.
We should pump. Everybody should sign up for Club TFE, hottest club in town.
What a segue! On the heels of the Bastards. Yeah. Hey, there's a reason you're in Detroit right now. We have a little get together for Club TFE members at Oakland Hills, which just had the U.S. Junior Am.
Yeah.
32 people.
Rough's heavy.
Rough is thick.
Thick boy
32
rough.
people. North and South courses.
One day. Yeah. It's good.
Nobody else on the course, right?
This
Only
morning. Yeah.
the
Afternoon's a little more crowded on the north, but the south, 32 people on the south this morning. It was delightful. I was out there, had to peel away to come do this here pod, but going back over there for
important
lunch.
discussion about Adult Swim.
Well, yeah, to talk about Adult Swim. I had that note for like it's almost 10 days just percolating. I was thinking about talking to Brentley about it. I was like, Brendan's more of the specialist here. He's gonna have more Adult Swim talk.
But anyways, we had a day out at Colorado Golf Club recently. This is a good one. We are trying to create more and more of these experiences in addition to the tidal wave of content you get. It's $120 a month.
Somebody
$10
gave
a
me
month. Or
$120
$220 a year. $120 a year, please.
Should be
got an
$120 a
Illini-
month. Yeah, somebody gave me an Illini golf ball at the vet.
That's pretty good. Good. So members give back to each other. It's a good group of people giving back. Again, trying to create special events. Maybe you might not hear about everywhere.
Special content.
It's top of very special content, the best architecture content. I'm not involved with it, so I can say that. Going in the game, and Joseph Lamagna's tour guide insights every week. We're going to keep adding to it. We're already talking about 2025, but again, it's a way to support our work. We're not making a ton of money on these kind of things. We're just trying to create cool experiences and value for that $120 membership. So sign up at Club TFE. All right. I think that does
Sign
it.
up at thefriedegg.com/membership.
Okay. You can find it. All right. Everybody.
Maybe find it.
Maybe. Everybody enjoy your well, that's part of the deal. You sign up, we're going to invest in a website where you can hopefully find it a little bit easier. We're trying to put money into the website here, bigger community, more. We're not putting it into a, new set of a new boat or a backyard pool that has no adult swim regulations, and it's our own paradise. So we're putting it back into the club.
Pool, but
you would.
Not happening anytime soon.
All right, everybody enjoy your Wednesdays. Enjoy the Olympics. We'll be back Friday to do that and some golf advice. Talk to you then.